Good evening, televiewers. Welcome to Prime Hour, the first edition for this week. An edition that is going to be looking at campaigns, pre-campaign activities, promises, and capacity to deliver. The kind of president Cameroon truly needs after October 12th is going to be the focus for tonight's edition of the program. We're going to start with the two panelists who are with me, hoping that others who have written that they are caught in traffic beats that traffic to join us in the program tonight. Kedia Robert Malanfe is in the studio with me to look at this important topic. We're glad to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Greetings to you. Greetings to Mr. Tambe for putting in place this beautiful edifice for us to always come here and express our view. He remained one of the brand ambassadors for the promotion of freedom of speech and freedom of expression. I want to take this opportunity to greet all Cameroonians that will be sitting in front of their TV screen as we'll be giving our views with regards to the presidential election environment, its pressure over the national territory, and of course even in the diaspora where we have thousands of Cameroonians that have registered the electoral code.
Okay. Tamai Jarvis is also part of tonight's edition. Good evening, Jarvis.
Good evening, Mr. Kum. Good evening to Kedia Robert Malanfe. Good evening to the million televiewers who are viewing us. And a special good evening to our different political parties, especially the opposition party. This is a moment where I'm sure they are having some key and crucial meetings in preparation for the campaigns. Remember that we are now, September has come, and in under 15 or 14 days, campaigns will be effectively launched, and this is a moment where it is actually gearing up for the different opposition parties and also the CPDM, which is also trying to beef up its momentum to see that they maintain a broad-based coalition as we see. So it is going to be a month, a September to really remember, and a September of defection, cross-carpeting, and a lot. So I want to wish a special good evening to the Bishop of Boya, His Lordship Michael Bibi, and the president of the Catholic University of Boya, Reverend Father Bartholomew, and to the peace-loving people of Way Village who had the tournament on Saturday, and that was seen by Aqua Patrick Kumbom, who was himself in the village. And I want to also wish those who are watching us in Moya, my peace-loving people of Moya, and the chief of Moya, His Royal Highness Bollinger, happy Monday and happy new week, and a special good evening to you.
Okay, we are also awaiting the arrival into our studio of representatives of Univer as well as the PCRN who are supposed to join us, and also the SDF was supposed to be present here. Now we start with news away from the topic. We hear that 250 million francs CFA has been raised by CPDM bigwigs of the Northwest region as money to fund campaigns for the presidential election. Many persons are quick to say there are lots of problems in the Northwest and Southwest regions, and why would elites not focus on fixing roads and doing all of this than raising 250 million for our campaigns? Is the CPDM actually poor?
All political parties in the world raises their finances from contribution of their militants. And of course, if those of the Northwest region of the CPDM has raised over 250 million thanks to its elite. Let those of the Northwest and Southwest understand that when we are talking about elite here, the attention is not paid only on the political elite. We have social and economic elite. For instance, about 25 million was contributed by Shey Jones Yembe, who is, of course, we all know is an economic guru. And all those that have contributed, I believe they are doing a lot at the level of their communities. When you look at the fast growing rate of development in Dunga and Mantung, it is for sure that majority of the contribution come from there because of its vibrant elite. I also concur with the grassroots people that are calling their concern that, okay, if this money is coming up for campaign, they were expecting that a lot is done maybe at the level of boreholes, drinking water, and maybe road problems that we are facing at the level of the Northwest, especially in the central town. But I believe that a lot is being done at that level, which the elites are doing it. The contribution which we are seeing comes from almost 1 million militants of the CPDM in the Northwest, those abroad, those in other regions, and those that are based in the Northwest region, to contribute to support the ideology of the head of state and the ideology of the CPDM ruling party. And when this is done, people should not think that the contribution is meant to support a person, an individual. No, there is a person that leads the party, and the party has an ideology which many of its followers believe in that ideology, and of course they are doing everything possible so that will give the best result that our party has ever had in the Northwest region, as we are still hoping that the head of state, the President of the Republic, will launch his campaign in the Northwest region.
Okay. Tamai Jarvis, 250 million francs CFA to support the campaign efforts of the CPDM party. Do you see with those who think that, okay, maybe they would have expected these same persons to have come before now, raise this amount or even more to attack some of the key problems faced by the region?
Yes, I am totally in that class of people. And I have 3 concerns. The first concern is the fact that it was not held in Bamenda. That's my first concern, because if we are talking about supporting as the Northwest region, supporting elite of a region, supporting the President Paul Biya, getting supporters of the Northwest region to support President Paul Biya, I expected that meeting should have held first in Bamenda. Second, at the time when roads in Bamenda, in the urban centers, are in shadows of themselves, at the time when potable drinking water in Bamenda, it is actually failing their people, where people see potable drinking water now as a good of ostentation. At the time when electricity in Bamenda is epileptic, where many business people have lost their businesses and some of them cannot be able to pay their patan or their taxes to the council, because most councils are suffering because electricity is a problem in the Bamenda, in the Northwest region, and so they cannot do effective business. At a time when the healthcare system in the Northwest region, in most of our villages, needed donation, where we can actually donate and provide to these people such that they can live better and have energy and work better. At a time when we are expecting that even some community roads in Bamenda, elites will come together and generate resources to see how they can develop this community road. We are seeing that they are generating 250,000 already. That is, you take a cup of water, you are pouring into sea. That's how I look at it, because I know that the party that they are supporting is well grounded to actually take care of its campaign. I know the party has a structure well grounded to take care of its campaign bills. And when we are talking about elite, we only know now that we have these elites who are coming up to donate 250 million at a time when, if you look at their community itself, how many of these communities have potable drinking water? Except for me, I can talk for my community in Wavage. I have good drinking water in my village thanks to Aqua Party Kumbo. I can, but for the others, what about electricity? What about the issue of roads? We need to be very, very objective when we are building a nation. And if you love the people, we have seen elites in Libya and them contributing money to develop their community before the election. We have seen it. We have seen other elites in different parts of Cameroon contributing money to take care of essential needs like health care. Is a critical need of the people of the Northwest region. When we expect that, okay, they can donate 50 million, let's go to division by division and share, partition. And like Keja said, that when we're talking about elite, we should look about the business people. Even the political elites are, in fact, the political elites are the main benefactor of the people of the Northwest region, because the people of the Northwest region are the ones who come to give the president their vote because they trust the political elite, and because of that, the political elite serve as a bridge between the people and the head of state, so they enjoy more. We expect more from them to actually donate health, take drugs, buy pharmacy. I say this because if you look at my mentioned division, there are some healthcare centers that need drugs, that need good health, that need equipment. My mother was sick the other day in Way Village.
But that does not stop party militants.
No, we are saying that we are looking at the issue of elite now.
Okay.
We are looking at. I'm not looking at CPDM supporters. I'm looking at elite in the region who have mothers and cousins who are languishing in hospital. My mother was sick, went to the hospital. They did not have enough machine that they could take care of her in Way Village. Sent to whom, from whom? Sent to Bamenda. And in this situation, imagine the people who could not have that money to even send their own parents to this kind of center. They are more in.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Please ask Mr. Kedia, who comes from Bamising, Ndop, whether he will be able to come home and campaign for the CPDM. Before you answer that, we've just been joined by the representative of PCRN, Handy Samuel Eve. Good evening. Glad to have you. Okay. Okay. I'll come, but just answer that question before Mr. Eve comes in.
I will not really want to unveil this, but I will just do it. Of course, I will be part of the campaign team of the CPDM in Ngoketunja division, of course, which is headed by the member of the Permanent Bureau, Ophir Melo, the former rector, and other militants that will be in the field to ensure that we talk to the people of Ngoketunja in general. They should see the importance of the party. They should judge us based on what we are doing and what we will do, rather than other political parties that have not done anything. I was so very excited and happy that when my co-panelist was talking about elites and what they have done, he confessed that he called one of the elites that has given them drinking water at the level of his division. And if you want to take it like that from all division, at least all division will have one person to testify for the good work that they are doing. I understand very well with Cameroonians, human want is never enough, and we are in a society where we think that more is better. And again, when my co-panelists talked about hospitals not in their village, the structure of Cameroon with its health center is that we have the major hospital at the level of the region, at the level of the divisions, at the level of the subdivisions, which are district hospital. That's the structure that I believe is done in all countries in Africa which I've seen. Naturally, the best hospital in Nigeria will be in Abuja, and after Abuja you have state hospitals and you have local government hospitals right down to the villages. So it's but natural that those in the villages may not have the best as compared to those at the level of the region. So, but it's a progressive move which we think that the government is working with it, and we've seen how they have put in place the health coverage insurance which many people have registered. For me, I'm very excited when our system is being criticized, so that we see the weaknesses and know what we can do to ensure that we do much more better with regards to this 7-year mandate that we are struggling to attain and to gain. For the militants that contributed, all political parties have their money from the contribution of its militants. And as my co-panelist earlier said, he knows the structure of the CPDM very well, and that is why when Senator Regina Mundi was appointed to be in charge of the elections in the Northwest region, he had to call party militants to contribute, because that is the source of our money. We should not think that because our party is in government, it will give us right to embezzle or touch into state funds to have money for our campaign. No, all regions will do their contributions, divisions will do their contributions, and that will be the budget for the CPDM to carry out a campaign. We don't go into state coffers to generate money.
Okay, we are looking at promises and capacity to deliver. The kind of president Cameroon truly needs after October 12th. Monsieur Yves, I know you are French speaking, so you express yourself in the language you are most comfortable with. Nous parlons du genre du président que le Cameroun aura besoin. Oui, okay. Why do political promises in Cameroon often remain unfulfilled after elections?
Before answering your answer, I need to say something to the Stipedian representative here.
Okay, Kedia.
You know, maybe your view is very well, but so that he is saying is that hospital is there, but no drugs.
No drugs is not the issue of the category.
Hospital is in their village, but no drugs, not equipment. It's very true. Nous devons le comprendre. Donc, c'est différent de ce que tu disais. Maintenant, les capacités du futur président, je crois que...
les qualités, qu'est-ce que
les qualités, c'est ce que je veux dire. Je crois que au-delà d'appartenir à un parti politique, l'Église catholique a essayé de dresser un portrait de ce que devrait être le futur président de la République du Cameroun. Et cela doit intéresser tout le monde. Parce que tout ce que nous vivons, lorsque un président est élu, il n'est pas le président du RDPC, il n'est pas le président du PCRN ou alors du SDF, il est le président du Cameroun et il manage tous les Camerounais. Donc on doit donc s'intéresser tous, même si les uns et les autres peuvent avoir un peu de mauvaise foi, nous devons nous intéresser à ce qu'il devrait être. Je crois que la première chose, c'est d'avoir un chef d'État qui est capable de se mouvoir. Ça veut dire qu'aller toucher du doigt les réalités de ses concitoyens. Si l'autre là, c'est la première chose, et je crois que c'est ce que l'Église catholique a dit, être capable au moins de circuler au moins une fois dans chaque région, dans son mandat. C'est très important. Parce que les rapports, on a aujourd'hui un management bureaucratique, ça veut dire que je suis au bureau, on vient me dire voilà ce qui se passe, voilà ce qui se passe. Il y a des chantiers livrés au Cameroun qui n'ont jamais été exécutés. Ça veut dire qu'on vous dit non, tel chantier, telle route, tel stade, tel, etc. Mais la réalité du terrain est autre par rapport à ces rapports. Donc on doit avoir un chef d'État qui est capable de descendre, comme d'ailleurs on a encore l'image du tout premier président camerounais, son excellence Feu Amadou Ahidjo, qui allait même dans les chantiers pour aller voir exactement ce qui était exécuté. Donc c'est ce type de président, d'abord sur le plan de la disponibilité, sur le plan de l'énergie, parce qu'il faut ça, si vous n'avez pas le physique nécessaire pour le faire. Vous avez vu par exemple, je vous donne un cas simple, vous avez un jeune qui a fait 2 départements en moins de 24 heures, et pas deux départements voisins, 2 départements très distants, l'océan et la Léquier, qui les a fait en moins de 24 heures. Il faut avoir de l'énergie pour ça. Et c'est ce que nous avons besoin. Avoir quelqu'un qui est capable de quitter...
Quel est ce jeune?
Le président du PCRN, l'honorable Cabral Libi, on a vu sa pré-campagne dans le sud, à Kribi et dans le centre, au niveau de la Léquier. Donc c'est ce qu'on a besoin. On a ces jeunes-là, qui sont capables de se mouvoir, aller toucher du doigt. Et c'est d'abord ça. Maintenant, la deuxième chose, c'est celui-là qui est capable de rassembler les Camerounais. Et je crois qu'aujourd'hui, il n'y a pas un seul candidat aujourd'hui dans les 12 qui a pour ambition de diviser les Camerounais. Il n'y a aucun. Tous vont vous dire, d'ailleurs, il y en a même qui ont des projets de fédération. Il y a Cabral Libi qui est le PCRN, qui est pour le fédéralisme communautaire. Et il y a bien d'autres qui ont des projets de fédération. Donc ça veut dire qu'en réalité, tous les Camerounais aujourd'hui veulent, dans les 12 candidats, même le candidat du RDPC, tous veulent une seule chose, c'est l'unité du Cameroun. C'est-à-dire que le vivre ensemble, la lutte contre le tribalisme, ainsi de suite. Maintenant, la troisième chose, c'est la rigueur dans le management. C'est ça qui coince notre pays aujourd'hui. Puisqu'en réalité, le management bureaucratique a pris le pas sur le management d'action, on a donc un pays où, en réalité, il n'y a aucune rigueur. On a beau multiplier les institutions de contrôle, des organes de contrôle, parce que partout, dans tous les ministères, il y a les audits. Dans toutes les directions d'entreprises publiques ou parapubliques, il y a des audits. Il y a la CONAC, il y a la NIF, il y a le ministère du contrôle supérieur de l'État. Donc il y a tous ces organismes qui sont là pour travailler. Mais en réalité, leurs rapports vont à un seul endroit, à la présidence de la République. Et malheureusement, pas d'action contre eux, en réalité, ces gens qui distraient la fortune publique. Donc il faut une certaine rigueur dans la prise en charge, n'est-ce pas, de ce qui est du budget de l'État.
Okay, that is Mr. Eve. He believes that what Cameroon needs after October 12 is a president who is able to move to all the 10 regions, divisions, able to visit contract sites and project sites, and be able to be rigorous in following or monitoring the management of the state apparatus. Yes, we're talking about capacity to deliver and promises, the kind of president that we need after October 12. Let's look at promises and get them being fulfilled. How do we make sure that we have a president who is going to respect what he has said? Should we go back to the track records of what they have been doing?
Yeah, there's something which is called in research literature review. That is their past record and also their precedents, what they have been doing, what they are consistent with. Because they said justice should not only be served but should be seen to have been served. Now the challenge we have, and I think we are going to have it difficult when if we are supposed to look at past records of the 12 political stakeholders, we are going to really have a bit of difficulties, because sometimes, like, let me take the issue about movement. The issue about movement cut across, if I have to go about movement cut across, because after the 2018 presidential election, the question we should be asking ourselves is, how many of these candidates move back to back within the different regions of Cameroon before 2023? How many of them move back to back in Cameroon before 2023? Because they will start moving in 2023 in preview to 2024-2025 presidential election. So how many after 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 moved across the
Only
region?
one or two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that you will have you have some difficulties to get a good number, just about few. Now that is what we call track record, because if we say we need a president, and I agree, we need a president who is able to move, because by movement you can be able to know that, hey, maybe I had this vision, I can quickly take an executive action, this is solved, this is solved, this is solved, this is solved.
Exactly.
Let me give example of what I'm talking about movement. I know when I'm talking about this, some people say, but some of these people are not, when they talk about movement, some only look at the president of the republic. No, you're a president of the party. You're a president of a national party. So you should be moving and talking to people, Cameroonians, talking to them, seeing their problem, and your political voice that you can easily go and meet your fellow presidential party member and talk with them, like Nijon was doing. That time Nijon would tell that I went to meet Mr. Biya, and I told Mr. Biya that this is what was happening, this is what was happening. Because Nijon had gone round, and he keeps going around to know the plight. The same thing. So if you are a opposition leader, we should not just expect the head of state. The question we should ask them, how many were moving before 2018, before 2024? If you look at Nigeria, election ended in 2023. But the political stakeholders of the different PDP and PDP Labour Party did not stop, and they started moving back to back till every major accident they are there, every major event they are there. With or without major event, they create them, they meet the people, they visit village by village. They are doing that till today, and the election is in 2027. That is where you see that, okay, this person has the capacity of moving. The second, inclusive governance. When we are talking about, we need someone that will be able to be inclusive in governance and dialogue how many of these candidates have peace in their respective parties, and how many of them have been able to galvanize the party members to make sure that they live in harmony? Because we can only trust you on bringing inclusive governance if we see in your party that your party has inclusive governance.
Exactly.
Because you cannot give what you don't have. If these members of these different parties, they should think within themselves, I am throwing this out to them, they should look at it within themselves, and the public who have been listening to news and watching these candidates should be able to look at this unit of analysis. How many of them have been having inclusive governance? The issue about inclusive governance also stems from primaries. Primaries at the level of how do they select their members of parliament? How do they select their members of their mayors? How do they select their councillors? At their base, is it democratic? If yes, then that kind of candidate, if that kind of candidate takes over, we should trust that kind of candidate, because judgment will be done on fairness, equity. The next, we should look at their past record on how many of them have actually stood up when Cameroonians needed them the most. What I'm talking about Cameroonians needed them the most is that we've had issues of this country. Mobile money tax was instituted. Cameroonians made noise. How many of them stood up and said our party will take this to court? We have seen parties that are actually taking government to court in other nations, that they are not happy with a certain government action, they take them to court. Even if they are defeated, they at least it showed goodwill. We have seen also the issue about the candidate, the COVID gate and the rest. We expected parties should actually hold a press conference, speak with their own resources based on what we have. We are commanding. I'm just throwing this. No, I'm not calling. If they are doing
I just want to say that Honorable Cabral Libi has done clearly, elaborately exposing some of these things.
Voila. Yeah. That is what we call track record. If a candidate can be able to do that at that small level, it means that that candidate takes over. That rigor that he's talked about is very important. It is a rigor, because if you can fight rigor when you are not in power, then while you are in power, you can actually take rigor. And I really have loved that. I love that policy of rigor, because rigor takes away tribalism. Rigor takes away nepotism. Rigor don't judge people on the tongues that they speak, but judge them on their content and their character. Because it is common now in this country, and in some parts where you see somebody who asks, what is their name again? Somebody, I'm Kedia. No, the other name, I am Malanfe. I'm not asking the other name because I want to know if he's called Kedia Robert Malanfe. I want to know where it's come from, so that I know how I'm discussing with him or not. It is common in both the private, the government, and some sectors. So we need that rigor, and so we need a candidate who have been introspectively looking at those issues. I will come back for the other tenants.
Okay. They both are raising the issue of moving. You think it's very important, or you don't necessarily have to move when you have representatives across the nation?
Oh, no, moving is natural, and it's the head of state, President Paul Biya, that brought this. If all of them are talking about rigor today, we all know that it was President Paul Biya that took and talked about rigor and moralization. So he's the founding father of the rigor we are talking about. And I just want this to be very, very clear. When we talk about moving for inspection, we have official and unofficial visit of workplaces. And we've realized that the movement officially to check workplaces at times is very costly and expensive. So at times it is done privately, how it is usually been done to check projects. So that has always been done. I know many people wonder when the head of state is coming, there should be a lot of convoy of over 50 cars, ministers. That's a huge sum of budget. So that is being done privately. I know many people want to debate to say that, but we've never seen, that's why they call it private. And so the head of state, President Paul Biya, has always been doing private visiting with regards to contracts that are being executed in Cameroon. I appreciate my co-panelists, especially my brother here from PCRN, if I'm not mistaken. He has analyzed very well, and he brought talked about rigor and concentrated on the government in place. I could have loved that that his time, which he spent 95 minutes talking about the government in place and what they have not done and what they were supposed to have done, if he could have used that time to tell us what his own party has done and show us the rigor in his own party, then I will understand. And this is the problem we have with opposition, that when they give them opportunity to sell their party, say what they have done at their micro level and what they will do, they abandon it because there is nothing to say about it. If they have dear Cameroonian watching us, do you people think that they will abandon what they have done to showcase it to you people, and they spend 95% of their given time to talk about the party that is in power? It's because they have nothing to showcase. I'm still waiting for him to say that, oh, the president has about 5 parliamentary or 7 council, if I'm not mistaken, what they have done at the level of their council to make Cameroonians believe that they have something to give. But I will not go into that political ping pong of saying that this party has done that, this one, some of their parliamentarians have chopped the micro grant that was given even before it was stopped. But at the level of the ruling CPDM political party, we are engaged in talking to our militant and their sympathizer. We are showing them what we have done and what we are still going to do. If today Cambe is contributing their elites to support the head of state, President Paul Biya, it's because of the development that is taking place there. At the level of the ring road that has been constructed there, at the level of councils, markets that have been constructed. That is the strength of a political party, what they have done and what they will do. I understand that human one is never enough. The government is doing a lot. Yes, we need much more of clean water. The hospitals are there. We need development. If today my co-panelist here of patient confirmed to me that there are hospitals everywhere, it means that they need to improve the issue of machineries and medicine. It means that he's confirming that a good job has been done at a level, a certain perspective, and since human one are not enough, we should keep doing it. And so if the system has put in place this hospital and we are still asking the Cameroonian people to trust us and give us again another 7 years so that we can be able to accomplish the weaknesses that he has brought, that we need more machineries and of course more medicine. And this is what we are engaged to do this coming mandate. At the level of roads, which many people will come out to criticize, but I just want to say that as we criticize roads we should not look at the southwest region and we criticize the road that lead from my 16 to Munya, and we forget about other roads that are in the town of Limbe, the town of Kumba, Manfe, and the rest. We should not look one and analyze everything to be wrong. So to conclude, I will just say that we have done our best. We are happy that our opposition criticizes us to make us stronger, but they don't tell us what they have done.
Ok. Monsieur,
je vais réagir rapidement en disant que nous sommes à une élection présidentielle.
Oui.
Et vous nous avez demandé quelle est la capacité à mettre en évidence ou en pratique les promesses qui peuvent être données.
Oui.
Et le type de président qu'il faut. Je crois qu'il ne va pas se perdre lorsqu'il dit que les partis politiques d'opposition, ainsi de suite. Aucun parti d'opposition n'a le budget de l'État à gérer. Aucun. Les partis d'opposition ont, pour certains, des collectivités territoriales qu'ils gèrent, mais nous ne sommes pas l'élection. Nous ne sommes pas l'élection. Comment je peux dire, aux élections locales. Ça va arriver en février. Vous pourrez demander aux populations qui sont dans ces localités de demander en réalité les comptes à ces élus locaux ou alors à ces députés. Parce qu'il y en a, en termes de ce qui a été fait, ça c'est énorme dans ces collectivités territoriales. Vous pouvez aller vous renseigner. Maintenant, moi j'aimerais qu'ils comprennent, lorsqu'on parle des promesses qui sont tenues et les capacités de les implémenter, c'est normal qu'on vienne pour celui-là qui a déjà eu à gérer l'État et qui veut se représenter. C'est-à-dire que, est-ce que les autres partis politiques, est-ce que les autres leaders vont faire comme lui? Est-ce qu'ils vont dire des choses? Est-ce que dire devient ne pas faire? Est-ce que c'est une habitude qu'on doit adopter? Parce qu'on a quand même pris 7 ans. Parce qu'on nous dit qu'il y a le best choice de 2004 à 2011. Après, on nous a dit non, il faut donner encore une opportunité parce qu'on lutte contre les accords coloniaux. On a donné un 7 ans pour les grandes réalisations que nous ne voyons pas. Parce que la route, par exemple, des entrées Est et Ouest ont été des chantiers de ce mandat-là, des grandes réalisations, dans 2011, 2017, mais les Camerounais ne le voient pas. Je parle là de l'État, je ne vous parle même pas des choses qui concernent les routes. Lorsque vous parlez des partis politiques d'opposition, est-ce que les partis politiques d'opposition ont la gestion, la gouvernance de la santé au Cameroun? Lorsque vous allez dans les hôpitaux, vous voyez que c'est affiché accouchement normal, 6 000 francs. Mais que lorsqu'on vous sort une facture, vous êtes à peu de 48 000, 50 000 les poussières. Est-ce que ce sont les partis politiques de l'opposition qui doivent implémenter ça? On parle des promesses qui sont faites et leur implémentation. C'est de ça qu'on parle. Maintenant, c'est normal que vous puissiez défendre. Je dis que les problèmes dont nous parlons ici n'ont rien à voir avec les partis politiques. Parce que vous-même, vous les subissez. Nous tous, nous les subissons. Lorsque vous engagez votre véhicule sur la route à l'heure actuelle dans la ville de Douala, ce n'est pas seulement les partis politiques de l'opposition qui en souffrent. Vous-même, vous en souffrez. Donc, nous parlons là des choses qui concernent tout le monde. Ça ne concerne pas seulement un individu. Il a parlé des hôpitaux qui n'ont pas de médicaments. Moi, je vous assure, dans mon village, il y a un centre de santé qui n'a ni médecin, qui a été construit, mais qui n'a ni médecin, ni infirmier de l'État, ni médicaments même. La broussaille parfois couvre tout ça. Donc il faut... Vous avez un hôpital de district dans mon arrondissement qui est en plein délabrement dans la brousse. Il n'y a même pas un médecin affecté de l'État. Et lorsqu'il dit ces choses, vous nous dites que non, c'est qu'on critique trop et tout et tout. Non, mais c'est que c'est la gouvernance, c'est une question de gouvernance. Lorsqu'on parle d'un chef d'État qui doit effectivement se mouvoir, n'est-ce pas? C'est parce qu'on se rend compte que lorsqu'il est sur place, ceux qui sont sur le terrain ne lui disent pas la vérité. Parce qu'en temps normal, on ne devrait pas avoir un hôpital de district, je parle même d'hôpital de district, qui est sans médecin, qui est sans équipement, rien. Alors qu'il y a un délégué départemental dans ce département-là qui doit faire des rapports et qui doit rendre compte. Donc vous comprenez que nous ne sommes pas là en train de... Laissons le petit jeu de démagogie, laissons le petit jeu de défense, même lorsqu'en réalité, ça ne vaut pas la peine. Allons, disons aux Camerounais la vérité. Le 12 octobre, c'est une question de référendum. Il parlait par exemple des élites tout à l'heure. Qu'est-ce que les élites font? Les élites viennent vers les populations lorsqu'il y a les élections. Et pour aller justifier leur prochaine mandature, leur prochaine nomination, parce qu'ils veulent qu'on les nomme. Mais lorsqu'on les a, ils viennent les mentir. On va vous donner ceci, on va vous donner cela. Aucun ministre n'a la capacité de donner quoi que ce soit à une population au Cameroun. Parce que le budget est centralisé. C'est une seule caisse. Donc en réalité, vous bénéficiez de ce dont on met à votre disposition comme budget pour la gestion de votre département ministériel. C'est la même chose avec les directeurs généraux et autres. Donc ce qui est fait par l'administration centrale. Ça veut dire que par le gouvernement. Ce n'est pas fait par un ministre, par une élite.
Okay. Now, what specific reforms must the next president prioritize in his first 100 days in office?
The first is that the reform should be based on official government policy, not high instructions. That's the first reform, because the second to me is that there should be that reform on the Anglophone crisis, the state of the form of the state. Mm-hmm. It should be an issue where we should discuss on that, because I tell you, most of our budget that we spend go to the conflicts in the northwest and southwest region. Even if the conflict is not that active, the military men still need to be there because they have to be proactive, and they are there. You calculate the amount they spend on mission, on ammunition, just keeping to make them peace.
Too much.
That is our amount. We are crying that we don't have roads. But if you see how much we are pumped in to secure these areas, is a budget that can be used to handle the economy. And I think that if we do that, we have actually relieved the burden on budget on that level and pump to the economy. The third specific reform that I think that the government must focus on, it should be this issue of tribalism. The law of tribalism needs to be very hard, because we are paying the price. one way or another, because some people still feel like they have more urge than another. To me, when we focus on Cameroon as a nation, we grow better. That's why you look at some other countries. When the president of Tanzania, John Pombe Magufuli, was there, you could not know where he was coming from. If they ask you where is the village of Pombe, you will not know. If you ask where is the village of Ibrahim Traore today, you will not know. Because those are nationalists. Those are things that the president have decided on the table that, hey, you know, I don't want to hear this and that. To me, that reform, that law on tribalism, against tribalism, need to be reinforced. The next issue is the issue of corruption. Corruption, to me, is not being fought the way it should be. In fact, people who have been found embezzling government money should not be given a special place at Kundegi, should not even be given a price to negotiate their perfect living condition at penitentiary, because it is aiding. You are like promoting, like say, okay, it is their money. For example, some will argue that no, but they have been jailed now, they have their resources to take care of themselves in prison. If they have their resources to take care of themselves, have we recovered the money? You can only have that kind of freedom when we have recovered the money. How do you reconcile the fact that somebody who steals a basket of cocoyam and somebody who has actually misappropriated state funds worth billions, which would have saved lives in hospitals, in roads, in villages, that person, the number of lives that have gone because that money was taken by one person, that person who stole that bag of cocoyam is languishing in a dangerous site in Kundegi or in maximum penitentiary prison, whereas someone that embezzled $1 billion plus is living lavishly, nicely in prison, and they tell you that no, they are already incarcerated. I think we need a zero tolerance policy on corruption, whereby if you are caught corrupt, to me, I will go by what somebody had published said one time ago here, that I should go by that J. Rollins kind of way of fighting corruption. That way of fighting corruption, which is the national public disgracement. They put you and you actually pay for the money, because corruption is the #1 epidemic that we are facing. If you look at the amount of money, and this corruption is not only at the level of government, at the level of the private sector too. It has entered the private sector. So if you look at what the president of Botswana, John Duma Boko, announced last week, he created a commission of inquiry, corruption, anti-corruption commission. What he did was he gave his own number and hotline that if you know of any incident, one of anybody who is corrupt, call me this number, call through this number, and we will handle it, because corruption is what is bringing down Botswana, and Botswana is in a health emergency. Thank God Cameroon is not in a health emergency. Before KJ starts saying that Cameroon is not in a health emergency, that shows that they are working. Thank God we are not in an emergency. But however, the next aspect is education. Our education, we are talking
about things that need, according to you, priority.
Yes, to me, the first 100 days. The first 100 days. If you don't adjust the educational system within the first 100 days, then we will not be able to build a nation. Because if you are building and going, you still have that educational system which is dependent. Because our educational system right now, within the first 100 days, is simple. You have to look at it. We have not had a national education forum for a long time. We have not had it. Call for a national education forum. Ask the teachers what are the things we can do to revamp this curriculum within the first 100 days, and if it means overall. We need those systems, because the first 100 days may seem like it's short, but it's enough days. These are enough days to put policy. Look at what Trump is doing. Within 1 day, Trump signed 35 executive orders. The next day, he signed 40 executive orders, and those orders take action immediately. The hand of the president is strong. The day KZ becomes president, he signs that I don't want to see traffic in the other ends. The day that as you sign it, you put in measures. So education, they need to call for an educational forum, have that meeting. This first 100 days is a days where the president needs to work. But I pity whoever will be there re-elected or elected, because if the person needs to work, Cameroonians will not like that person, because we are so used to with that nature that c'est de notre comme ça. C'est notre comme ça. You see that our notre comme ça tendency. The day, and that's why when you see actions that are taken, people start saying that, this person is too overhard, this person is too overhard, this person is too overhard. And that is why we need a president that is firm, a president that is strong, a president that will be resilient, that will avoid this our issue of c'est notre comme ça. I think with me, that is how we can handle this issue.
Okay, that's how we can handle this issue. Yes, according to you, it is true. You guys are in charge. But in the next 100 days, what are the priority sectors you want your government to address?
All right, thank you very much. Here now you are asking me my personal opinion. Of course, I think that the government will need to look into the structure on how roads are being managed in the city areas in Cameroon, because we are having this division of labor at the level of what does the city mayor do, what does the mayor do, what does the state, what the state does.
Minister of Public
Yes,
Works.
public work, what they do. That's why you see, when you look at the road from my 16 to Munya, many denizens of Buya were like accusing the mayor, whereas it was not the place of the mayor. And I think that they should really look into that. If there is a ball at the level of a national road, if a mayor can go into it directly and give a first aid treatment to the road before the Ministry of Public Work is taking final decisions. I also wish that the first 100 days policies should be put in place to manage garbage, especially in the town of Douala and Yaoundé, so that we won't have those problems anymore. And most importantly, I really think much focus should be done on how those in the private sector are being treated. This could be in all levels. Those in the private sector, in the hospitals, teachers in the private sectors, and those working in the companies of foreigners. I think that if these three things are being looked into in the first one.
What is the problem of those working in the companies owned by foreigners?
When I say foreigners goes with the private sector. There is really need for follow-up to ensure that all these workers are under the same pace. If they are not paid their salary, the measures what is supposed to be done. Because, for instance, I'll take this example in a sector in which I understand very well, secondary education. You see a teacher is supposed to be paid maybe 50,000. His salary is being cut for one reason or the other. I realize that if he has to go to a police station, he will need a lawyer. If he has to go to the welfare, the procedure that they will take to look into it will be very, very long. And majority of them are not under the same pace in the private sector, like primary school, like private teachers and the rest. So I think that a lot should be done at that level to preserve or protect the dignity of workers in that sector, which is also more employed than the government. However, after giving my view, I just want to tell my co-panelists that when we are talking about campaign, you don't need to tell me that we should not talk about opposition because they have never been to power. That is wrong. If you are going to campaign, you have to present what the people will see. If you have been a parliamentarian, you will not say that, no, I will not say what our mayors have been doing, all of our parliamentarians that have been doing, that we need to wait for a legislative election before we can talk about it. It is wrong. We judge people that want to be leader, even at the level of what they have done in their families. That is what they look at. Even if you want to look at what you've done at the level of your community. Okay, so what do we say now? Like somebody like Akere Muna, that will say maybe he's in his party, maybe they don't have parliamentarians or mayor. So we should just vote for him without analyzing what he has done in his community? We have people there that we saw them maybe at the level of the civil society, and now they are candidate. We need to judge. We need to see what you've done at your basic level before we can be able to give you the state. So don't tell me that since these candidates have never been in government, we should not judge them. So if somebody have failed at the level of basic management, at the level of the party, we should confine the person the state. So I still think that we will have to analyze. Look, if we are saying that the government in place, they have failed to do this, you should also tell us that we have this number of council, this is what we've done in our council, and we believe that if we are given power, this is what we will do at the level of the state. So I still think that that should be looked into.
Okay, we have just been joined by Mr. Nyong Clement, who is representing the Akere Letter movement on the platform. Good evening, glad to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Good evening to the viewers, good evening to the panelists. Sorry for coming late. It's the traffic, as we all know. So, yeah, it's nice to be here to talk about this interesting thematic. I think our country needs terms like this because it enables us to actually educate also the people who need to hear what can be done for the improvement of our country and to unleash the potentials that Cameroonians have.
Now, we were looking at what capacity, what qualities Cameroonians should be looking out for the person who is supposed to be the next president after October 12th. What are the qualities that Cameroonians should be looking out for in that person?
Yeah, like I said, the term is very interesting, and I will start by appreciating the CPDM representative that is here because he mentioned, though indirectly, accountability. We need a leader that is going to be accountable, who will accept wrongs, who will accept that, yes, I failed here, and I'm going to improve. And when we look at a candidate like Batonia Keremona, who has been invested by Univer and the UPR that is supporting him, he's somebody who is, accountable. He has a good profile. He has done things that we have all seen. Even my fellow CPDM member that is here can attest with the Glencoe case. He has served in different positions internationally and locally, which has helped our country to be in front internationally. So we need somebody with that profile, and I think he's very well placed. He has all the profile, and he is not coming to say, I want to be forever like what we have now, but he's coming to transition, to bring his own approach in terms of governance, because we need an issue of governance. The CPDM representative here has just nailed some of the issues where we have teachers, because there is no clear structure on how they should be paid, there's no follow-up, there is no way they can lay complaints. So it's making them to feel in an unjust society. So somebody with an experience on systematic change, like the Batonier, can actually, put in place this system that will ensure that those who are, whether in the private or the public, can be held accountable and be responsible for their either mismanagement or whatsoever they have done, which is not in favor of the development of the community.
Where should priority be first 100 days after October 12th, once we take part?
Yeah, so the Batunier, through the 8 pillars, has clearly mentioned what he plans to do. But primarily, it will be in reviewing the governance, putting in place new institutions to give everybody the opportunity to be part of nation building. He looked also into road infrastructure, which is also something we are facing challenges in almost every city in the country. Education, justice, and all of these are things which he's looking at within the 100 days within his mandate. So I think it's very clear, and then once the campaign is being launched, I think Cameroonian will be very much aware about what it's concretely going to do. He's also looking deeply into the crisis that's going on in the English regions and also in the far north. So these are the key things he's planning to resolve within the 100 days.
Okay. You already talked about the sectors of education, health, economy, governance, and security. Tamai Jarvis. How do we judge he who can easily lay focus on and put to rest what's happening in the northwest and southwest regions?
We judge them like
should we judge by those who have been able to go down there themselves?
Yes, we have to judge by presidents, those who have been able to actually go down on the field. Let me use an anecdote which I used last time. Now, you may be in Yaoundé and you may be talking to internally displaced persons who left the war in the conflict region in 2017, 2018, you may be talking to them this 2025, and whatever information they give you, you may think that that will be a better way that you can best formulate policies to resolve the Anglophone crisis. You miss it. You can only know how to resolve this crisis if you go down to the field and talk to those who are actually in the field, and they will explain to you how they think that the conflict can be resolved. Let me use this anecdote which I used it last time, that there was a company, an NGO that went to the north to dig borehole, to provide borehole water. Now they saw women in the north leaving their houses, trekking for a long distance to go and carry water. They were touched. They said that they have to provide boreholes so that these women will not need to trek. These women just need to stay at home, carry water. Now they dug those boreholes, inaugurated those boreholes. The next week, those women went on strike. They said that no, they don't want the borehole. Any rational person will say, why don't you want the borehole? The women's answer was, this borehole was done without them asking our needs. That borehole is limiting us now for us going out, because in the north, women are always in their house and they don't expect them to leave their houses. So the time that they take to go and carry water from that distance, the only freedom that they have to discuss with other women to find out what is happening in their houses. Now you have brought the borehole to us. You have made us, we are no longer going out again, and you have now made us permanent prisoners. To that NGO, they thought they were resolving the issue of water, but now they were creating more social crisis. And that is why I'm saying that you cannot resolve Anglophone crisis, claiming that you resolve Anglophone crisis, if in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025, you have not been to Northwest and Southwest. This is over 9 years period. When I talk about North and Southwest, Bamenda and Boya. Now, let me use the Easter. They will tell you that no, there is insecurity. There was a time when we had green light. The time when the late chairman of Social Democratic Party died, Nijon Frundi, when he was being transported to Bamenda. That period had a lot of, there was a green corridor where opposition parties or government, those who have the view, could go down and resolve it. But you see candidates who have never been to the Northwest region in the heart of this crisis, telling you that they will resolve the crisis. And I bet you, resolving this crisis is not what the diaspora have. Because what the diaspora have is different from what the man on the field is thinking. The man in the field just have one thing. He's not thinking about federation, centralization, whatever. Peace. But the man who is either in Douala, who is living where he's will tell you that no, we want the federalism, no, we want the this, no, one. This you will say, okay, San Anglophone has been displaced in Douala. But that is not what the man in Northwest want now. And when you ask him how will this peace be achieved, he can tell you better. So to me, I think that precedents matter here. And if you have candidates that have not been able to move to the Northwest and Southwest region, it is still not there, because the other day I saw a party launch a regional headquarters in Bamenda, but the party representative, head flag bearer, was not in Bamenda. And I said, this is a political blunder, because you needed to be there to flag that head. We are talking about regional headquarters.
Yeah, but the party leader has been to Bali. He has moved down to Manfi and back to Boya
before the crisis.
No. At the heart of the crisis, yes, at the
if he has, but I was
at the peak of the crisis.
If he has, but I was just shocked that you are flagging a regional office. Regional. This is not just a divisional. It's regional. Then you are not there. It's a political. They may have reasons, but politically, it's a blunder. Whether they accept it or not, politically.
President Cameroon was in Batibo.
No, I'm talking about the launching of the regional headquarters.
We have also a headquarters in Boya.
I can just give advice. I'm not a politician. I'm just saying that it's a political blunder.
Yes, let's look at the capacity of a candidate to solve this. How do you tell the people of the Northwest and Southwest to vote for someone who is capable of solving their problem?
Well, firstly,
you say the President of the Republic has experience.
Of course, he has experience, and that's why he has been engaging in dialogue. And the President of the Republic, main strategy in resolving the Anglophone problem has always been dialogue. Now, some opposition, they are there to do propaganda to make those in the Northwest think or feel that the government is using the military. No, the military naturally are there because that's their job, to ensure that there is peace, security, and safety of properties. So the government of Cameroon, which is led by experienced head of state President Paul Biya, has always engaged in dialogue. And I will say it clearly that I remain one of those that champion this dialogue, where we keep on telling the people that denounce what the separatists are doing. You people need to collaborate, give information to the forces of law and order.
We are talking about.
I'm talking about government, and I'm saying that dialogue is the measure, and that's what the government is doing. And now I'm testifying that I was part of this because I am supporting my champion. That's what I'm saying.
Go on.
It's dialogue.
Go on, go on.
And so we have been engaging in dialogue, and I think that with the dialogue that we have been putting in place has led to the reduction with the crisis, because we can't compare the situation now as in 2017 or 2018 or maybe 2020. We realize that it has gone down thanks to the dialogue. Now, many opposition will come out to say federalism. I have asked many of them, what type of federalism do you want to implement? Many of them don't even know the various type of federalism. You ask them that, okay, let's talking about managerial of resources. Will it be the central government, or will it be the local government that will manage and give percentage to the central government, or is it vice versa? Many of them, they don't understand the machinery of federalism. And I tell myself that, how would they implement it? Because I've seen it in their interview, and I'm talking here as a political scientist, that there are structures in which such forms are being managed. And when I go through and I look at all of them, their view on solving the problem, I realize that many are even shouting federalism because the people are shouting federalism that they themselves don't understand the federalism. Okay. So when I look at all this, I see say that the President of the Republic, President Paul Biya, that are engaged in dialogue, and we are seeing it in the field, how effective it is.
Okay, good evening. The ruling party should remember that they are not running for the second, third mandate, but for 8 mandates running continuously. They should step aside completely so that we can see quality failures or successes of others. She Emmanuel is writing from Bamenda. Good evening, Mr. Liu and crew. Hems Njoya writing from Nop. When I hear the CPDM gentleman say they are still struggling to build this country for 43 years, he's not on his right senses. They have nothing to offer. Okay, this one says, Mr. Liu, good evening. God be with you. Let us pray for our country. Is Umaru Banta is writing from Bamenda. Good evening to you in the studio. All the things the CPDM man is saying, his enumeration just goes to tell us Cameroonians that we are not honest to ourselves. No government can do everything to its population, but does Kedia know that even though the government has failed to provide the basic needs of the society, the same system is killing its economy with exorbitant taxes. They have failed to satisfy majority of the population of this country. Terence is writing from Mutengene. Okay, this one reads, good evening, Mr. Liu. Your panelists, I always enjoy your program. While I would like to ask the CPDM militants some few questions. In the 21st century, should the citizens be happy or rejoice for a government to provide basic needs, rights of the citizens? If that is the base on which he is debating on, then they have failed. For the past 43 years, Cameroonians have not basic needs. He talked of private visits. How many ministers do that? If it's costly, why do they still do it? We see it in other countries where presidents or government officials move with too many people behind them. The party in government have to do more, and not opposition parties, because the taxes, all money in the country is being controlled by them. Salvador is writing there. Maxwell in Yaoundé says that good evening, sir, and to all the panelists in the studio. Is the CPD man in the studio really telling us that, given the nature of things in the country for 43 years, they had done well, especially youth unemployment, over 60%. Educational system is even collapsing every day. This is explained by the fact that PhD programs have been suspended for more than 3 years now. Nature Root Health. Okay. Yes. Let's continue with this debate. We're looking at the capacity of those who should take over or continue governing. Let's look at their integrity. How important is that in choosing who runs this country?
Oui. Le véritable problème lorsqu'on parle de la forme de l'État, c'est de savoir que la forme de l'État émane de la volonté du peuple. Il a été dit au grand dialogue national qu'on ne débattait pas sur la forme de l'État. Personne ne discute sur l'intégrité territoriale de manière complète, mais on doit débattre sur la forme que les Camerounais ont besoin d'être managés. Et nous, au niveau du PCRN, nous avons proposé le fédéralisme communautaire qui permet une décentralisation aboutie avec une gouvernance locale où en réalité l'État central, l'État au niveau national gère des priorités sur certaines questions clés comme la défense, comme la santé, ainsi de suite, mais que l'implémentation de la gouvernance locale puisse permettre aux populations d'être à l'aise. Ça veut dire quoi? On prévoit par exemple que 30% des ressources de chaque au niveau local, nous prévoyons, le PCN, oui, nous prévoyons que 30% des ressources au niveau local puissent rester au niveau local et 70% puissent aller au niveau de l'État. Donc nous pensons que en réalité le Camerounais doit avoir l'opportunité d'aller le 12 octobre choisir exactement la forme de l'État qu'il veut. Si c'est l'État central qui doit continuer, si c'est le fédéralisme communautaire, si c'est la fédération comme proposent d'autres, je ne sais pas si c'est en combien d'États, je ne sais pas, mais en réalité, les Camerounais sont libres de mener un débat sur la forme de l'État. Et cela ne doit pas être une imposition de qui que ce soit. Tout à l'heure, on parlait de la crise anglophone. En réalité, ce qui arrive au niveau de la crise anglophone, c'est l'absence d'un véritable dialogue. Parce que s'il y avait eu, on a un État qui est habitué à intimider. Ça veut dire que lorsque vous avez des revendications, on n'écoute pas, on ne sait pas, et on essaye de mener des actions de répression. C'est ça qui est à l'origine de la crise anglophone. Et cette crise, donc, qui est une crise, au départ, crise sociale, doit trouver des solutions sociales. Ça veut dire quoi? Si les populations, aujourd'hui, au niveau du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest, savent que pour avoir un médecin au niveau de leur hôpital, comme le disait tout à l'heure, on n'est pas obligé d'attendre que c'est le ministre qui décide à Yaoundé, que le maire, au niveau local, peut tout faire pour que le médecin soit là. Que si les tables banques doivent être dans les salles de classe, ainsi de suite. Parce que même les 15% qui avaient été promis dans leur décentralisation au niveau des collectivités territoriales décentralisées, ça n'arrive même pas. Et quand ça arrive, même parfois, c'est trop tard. Donc on a donné la chèvre et on a retenu la corde. Donc ça fait que le maire, le responsable de la commune qui est là, ne peut pas véritablement apporter du soutien aux populations. Et lorsque vous avez besoin, par exemple, vous allez voir qu'il y a des routes. Il y a des routes qui sont là et qui, en réalité, ne sont pas maintenues, tout simplement parce qu'on attend que la décision soit prise au niveau de Yaoundé pour qu'on fasse un entretien de route. Donc, c'est pour ça que nous pensons qu'en réalité, le débat sur l'intégrité du territoire camerounais en termes de forme de l'État doit être ouvert et laisser les Camerounais en juger. Donc, c'est à ce niveau-là que nous sommes. Maintenant, il a aussi dit quelque chose. Il parle des programmes. Je pense que le PCRN est un parti politique qui a mis sur pied au moins son programme politique depuis plus de 5 ans aujourd'hui. Déjà à travers un ouvrage, le fédéralisme communautaire, et après à travers un ouvrage, Manifeste pour la rupture et le progrès, par son leader. Ces deux ouvrages qui aujourd'hui sont là. C'est-à-dire que la plateforme de maîtrise de tout ce que Cabral Libi offre, et même au niveau numérique, vous allez dans http://cabrallibi.2025.com, vous avez les informations de tout ça. Nous parlons ici de la réforme. Vous avez demandé tout à l'heure les premières réformes.
Les 100 premiers jours.
Les 100 premiers jours. Laurent Kabila il a dit, la priorité c'est que les Camerounais n'aient plus faim. Parce que la plus grande détresse aujourd'hui, c'est que les Camerounais vous disent que parfois ils sont obligés d'aller se débrouiller au quotidien. Ils ne sont pas capables même de se concentrer sur les éléments dont il faut pour la gestion de l'État. C'est pour ça que parfois vous êtes obligé de courir derrière eux pour aller s'inscrire sur les listes électorales. Donc il faut apporter les solutions pour que les Camerounais n'aient plus faim. Et pour cela, il faut s'attaquer, au panier de la ménagère, où les prix flambent au quotidien sans aucune explication. Sans aucune explication. Parce qu'en réalité, les uns et les autres ne sont pas soumis à des contrôles qui les permettent effectivement de rendre compte de ce qu'ils font. Donc, il y a nécessité que les Camerounais puissent se prendre en charge le 12 octobre. Le 12 octobre, c'est un référendum. Est-ce qu'on continue avec ce que nous subissons ou alors on fait confiance à quelqu'un d'autre? Moi, je dis, je préfère Kabila Libi, mais n'importe qui dans l'opposition sera mieux que ce que nous avons aujourd'hui.
Okay. Yes, you want to talk?
Yeah,
no. You talk along.
Just
He's
one
been
minute.
talking, he's so inspired.
The Prime Minister said they would discuss about the form of the state. And during the Grand National Dialogue, they discussed about the form of the state. And that is why the Northwest and Southwest region was given a special status, which is a form of governance of the state. So we can't say that the form of the state was not discussed.
Yes, how do we get Cameroonians to fully scrutinize and hold the president accountable to them?
Yeah, before I respond to that, like he said, that some opposition. I'm not a politician. I talk as a Cameroonian, as an Anglophone, but that have studied in English education system and also French education system, and in some way have been affected by the crisis which started back in 2014, I think, where I lost an uncle. So I know what it is, right? There is Cameroon has a history which we cannot, close our eyes on it, and sadly, the cultural inheritance which we took from colonial masters has shaped the way both Cameroonians think. I mean, the French Cameroonian and the English Cameroonian, which is something we cannot close. So talking about the federalism, the form doesn't matter so long as we take into consideration what the people want, how it matches the local community, right? Someone somewhere in maybe in Boya or in Kumba wants to feel free that he can choose who is going to govern he or she, right? The governor, okay, sorry, I came late. Kadian, the CPDM, he wants to be governor, for example, for Southwest. Somebody in Bunya should be able to know what he has as assets. Is he a businessman? What kind of business does he do? He declares that. Is he fit? Shows his medical result. Based on that, my friend here, he presents his own assets, his health status, whatever he has. He presents his own. And we are free through a transparent electoral system to choose either the CPDM, the PCN, Univer, or whatsoever party through a transparent process, being sure that my vote is going to count. Nobody is going to tamper with it because maybe the DO is being influenced by its hierarchy. No. So in a federal system, the people have the power. They can decide to vote who is going to govern them based on the political ideology, his plan he has for the community, and that's how we build the community. Secondly, you are talking about integrity. Yes. Integrity means you say what you do. There's a lot of examples in the current government system. We have some departments that are very effective, right? Now they have improved with the passport. It used to be 2 months, but now it's 2 days, which is something good, though costly. Same with the ID card. It has changed. Now people are getting ID card, though a bit costly for the Cameroonian, but it's something we should encourage. Now, if you look at some other areas like infrastructure, which is what Cameroonians they need. If I earn, for example, 80,000, because I own something which I also pay people, right? If I'm paying somebody 80,000 and he says, my house rent is 40,000, transport, feeding, this, and the government says, okay, I know you have a problem with infrastructure, I'm going to build you social homes. Social homes means that even somebody that earns 50,000, the Smith, he should be able to live in that house. So the government launches a project in 2014. Till date, I subscribed for it. I have not yet accessed it. This is 14 years. 14 years. So, like this, if it continues this way, it means that for the next 100 years, people will still be having issues of houses. But in a federal system, once you have the governor or whosoever is in charge of infrastructure within the regional level has not been able to fulfill his mandate, whether it's 5 years or how many years, the next year people will say, you promised us infrastructures, we are not voting for you. This is at the regional level, not at the national level. Integrity, what you say is what you do. You said you are giving free houses for Cameroonian within the first 3 years. If within the first 3 years you don't give it, no need voting for you. You are not somebody to be considered that so with integrity. I'm talking also behalf of the bâtonnier. I know is somebody with good qualities when it comes to integrity. But if tomorrow he deceives me, right? He deceives me. He said, I said I was going to be do transition, and he doesn't do it. I say, bâtonnier, you have failed. I will hold him accountable. But knowing him for somebody being integral, that's why I support him. So that's what it is for me, what I consider as integrity.
Yeah, you talk about a transition. What is the bâtonnier proposing? Transition of how many years?
Yeah, he said 3 years, right? He set up through the 8 pillars. He set up system of governance, institution, health structures. Of course, with all the intellectuals that we have within the country, and then after that, we have transparent elections, every other thing that goes with it, and then he's off. He's not coming to say, oh, I'm going to. He has experience in issues related to governance, anti-corruption. Okay, the ID they are making now, which is costing like 10,000, but at the end of the day, you might end up spending 15,000 because
you have to certify.
You have to do this. You go to say you are in a hearse. You reach. It tell you, okay, no, you have to come back at this time, and you are forced to maybe give the person something so that it accelerates the process, right? So systematically, he has that experience. He has worked with African Development Bank, with other governance structures to see how the African countries can, develop in a more transparent and honest manner. He's showing it. He said he's going to declare his whatever he has, his assets, his health status. Okay, we appreciate what our current president has done so far. 90 years is grace, but it's good that a new blood, a new system comes in, and we see how it will be. So, okay. Yeah.
It's good that we get a new system, according to the representative of Barrister Akeremuna on this platform. What role should civil society and media play in ensuring campaign promises are transformed into action?
The first role that civil society need to play is that they need to actually have a manifesto of all these candidates when it will be made known. And that should be the first role, and highlight on their top 10 priorities for the people to actually know that these are the priorities. Now, in terms of also the making sure that their promises are kept, the civil society need to have a document or a form of integrity where these candidates, those who can sign it. Because when I'm talking about those who can sign, I know that there are some candidates that it may be very difficult to get to them to sign that document. Because I've seen in Nigeria where candidate civil society actually present a particular form, you state everything that you will do, you sign that this is what I will do, and if you don't do it, they hold you accountable. And another issue is in terms of the media. Before the media had to play an effective role, the parties first during this period of campaign need to help the media play that role. How? By making sure that they actually give the media their manifesto in detail and making them put themselves available to explain this to the public, because the media itself cannot explain it to the public without having these candidates coming and explaining, because the media has a task to put these candidates to have the role to put these candidates to tax, and asking them about what you said in 2018, what you did in 2021, what you think you will do, because the media has a role now to remind them of their track record. I know we have some of the speeches that some of them have been able to make, and so if you have made some kind of speeches, what will you be able to do? And I will quote, for example, if you say you are fighting corruption, now what role have you been able to play between the period of 2018 right up to 2025 when it comes to the fight against corruption? For other candidates, we have seen how they have tried and how they have fought and how they keep fighting. Now, in terms of the media, also the media has a role of balance, fairness, and objectivity, meaning that the media shouldn't take side of a particular candidate. But the media will be wrongly accused, because why I'm saying they will be wrongly accused, I see a precedent where parties will not be able to send communicants on time, and when the media picks the one that are available, they may say that, hey, you see, these ones are like this one are like that. So that's why I'm saying that the parties need to make themselves available to the media. And for civil society now, I think the civil society need to also make sure that they help the people to understand the respective policies. Let me use two cases. The first case is a situation of the crisis, which everybody is talking about, the crisis. Now, what role does the civil society need to do? The civil society needs to get to these political parties and tell them, let them explain to the public how they will resolve the crisis, because everybody keep telling you that I will resolve the crisis within 100 days. I will resolve. But the question you ask, how do you intend to resolve the crisis within 100 days? They should tell us the how. So the civil society need to tax these people, should say the how. For example, another person will tell you that I will provide jobs. How will you provide jobs within the next 100 days? Because provision of jobs, and I keep saying, and I'll maintain it here, that whether the politicians accept this view or not, it is an established fact that no government can provide jobs on its own to the people, but the government can create a favorable environment under which they are the business people that actually provide jobs. Because if a government says they want to provide jobs, it means that you are creating an entitlement syndrome, which means that everybody wants to work in the civil sector. But when you create a favorable environment, like my brother here, he said he owns a company, which a business that is paying workers. These are the people that create jobs. So he can tell you that I will be able to create jobs within the next 10 or 5 days. I will believe him, because he has what it takes to create a job. Now, it is a role of the government to make sure that they create policies. Now, those who are coming to say that they will solve the issue of unemployment, how will you solve the issue of unemployment? Maybe tell us the tax policies you are going to put in place. Tell us the security measures you are going to put in place. Tell us the measures you are going to put in place for companies that exploit their workers. Like Keja was talking about some of these foreign companies. Tell us the measures you are going to put in place. We are losing a lot of money because some laws are not being enforced, and that's why we are saying that the civil society and the journalists need to tax these people to explain further, and the civil society need to organize what is called a town hall for this candidate to come and explain, and the journalists also themselves need to be at the center. The journalists always do their job, but unfortunately we have a system where most political parties already believe that they have already arrived, and to have some of their key party members come to TV, it was a talk of war. You have to call this person, call this person, call this person, call this person. It's becoming like the system that we have with Keja, because it's difficult. In fact, I like Keja's style is even more flexible, because to get a political candidate, I will say this, to get a candidate of the frontline candidate to appear on your program on TV, or to even reply a message, just a handful, just few. And just imagine if they have some excellence now in the nation. You pass through protocol. But that is not how leadership to me should be.
Okay. Kedia, we're talking about holding those who are supposed to be elected accountable. How do you know someone who is going to be accountable to you, judging from their presentations? It's like wanting to get married to a woman, hoping that woman is going to be loyal, submissive. But what should our voters? Can we also say that civil society and the politicians themselves have not helped to educate people enough before now, because many persons are confused?
Firstly, you analyze the person himself at the level of his family. Secondly, you look at the philanthropic work of the person. How does the person share? How does the needs of the people, make him to be desperate to be able to satisfy their need? You look at the past work of the person. Everybody who has a career, you look at the way the person went through school. If the person has worked, you look at where the person has worked. You look at if there have been any integrity there. I'll make some few examples. For instance, if you look someone like Akere Muna, to be honest, his effort he has done with regard to the Glencore. If you look at Barrister Akere Muna, when you look at somebody that have gained the confidence of lawyers of the national territory to vote for him. So when you look at the way he managed, the Bar Association of Cameroon, from there you can be able to say that if he has done this, I believe that at the level of the state, this is what he can do. If you can look at, for instance, the way he managed the Glencore, definitely one can say that if he's president, he will be able to fight corruption. Those are the way we should analyze. Like President Paul Biya, the head of state, all the time he has ruled the nation, I've not heard about any allegation of corruption of the head of state. It is true that we heard about some ministers and some of them are in Kodingi, but the person of the head of state, we've not had any case of corruption concerning him. That is integrity, which I would like to talk about it, that those are the things we should do, observe. Then the ability to serve the nation, that will should be there. We should see that ability in your day-to-day life. Barrister Akere Muna might be changing political parties, but you look at that zeal where he sees that, hey, there have been an issue of petroleum in my country, we may lose this money, and you see that zeal in him to serve the nation. Those are the things we see. And even though we look that of Akere Muna, but we cannot compare it with that of President Paul Biya, that has spent more than half of his life serving the nation. And even now that that many people will think that he should go and rest, but the demand of the people, the people's choice, the pressure is on him. When Cameroonian people, they say they want him, especially us of the CPD, want him to continue serving the nation. Another aspect in which we will also look, we have candidates that have once been parliamentarians and they have abandoned it to become council mayors. So we should go into that council. You are a mayor, maybe we have that case in known Patricia Ndamjoya. We will need to look at, okay, at the level of this your council, these are the projects you've presented, these are the projects you've executed. How is your relationship there with traditional institutions, with men of God there? Those are the things we should be able to look at, to say that no, if at this micro level you are able to do this, we believe that at the level of the macro you will do more. Those are the things we need to analyze most of these candidates. And when you look at it, you realize that we have Honorable Cabral Libi, which we've seen his battle in the parliament, which I must confess that he has been doing his own, even though I have not seen minor project he have done. Maybe he has been parliamentarian before the micro aid was stopped. We've not seen what he did with the money before it was stopped. But at the level of him fighting certain bills at the level of the assembly, I would say he has has done his own best. When we talk about Patricia Ndamdoya, I'm just calling her name. I remember her at the parliament that she went to the parliament and only succeeded to shoot somebody's head with her shoes. So those are the things I think that Cameroonians should look into, to be able to get integrity of a person, and also to be able to trust the person that this is what this person would do. If at the level of your council you've done something, if as a philanthropist you are able to show concern to that child that goes to school barefoot, and you are able to buy that child slippers, we believe that when you go to power, these are the things you will do. I decided to talk about Akere, Muna and Patricia and maybe Cabral Libi, because I've seen one or two things they have done. But with a case like Minister Issa Chiruma, that has been in the Ministry of Employment for more than 6 years with a budget of over 1,000 billion, and he resigned and now says youths don't have job. I don't know what he was doing with that budget. You don't go under a palm whatsoever. You say that is a school in your region, whereas the mayor and the parliamentarian from that area is from your party. So those are the things I think we should be doing. If you've been a minister of tourism and leisure, we want to see what as a minister you did in that ministry, that we should believe that if you have now the entire republic, that is what you will do. If you look at somebody like Serge Espoir Matumba, to be very honest, I'm giving this analysis now as a political scientist. When you look at Serge Espoir Matumba, we saw him in 2018, and 2018-19 he disappeared, and we just started seeing him some few months ago. So those are the things people should analyze, that where was he, what was he doing at that particular moment. When you do a presentation of all these candidates, we have those that they say they have been at the civil society and they have been doing what they have been doing. Maybe it's in their villages, maybe it's in other areas which I may be ignorant of, but it's left now for the people to judge what this person did at the level of the civil society. It's not about putting the Bamenda traditional dress and going a tour in Bamenda, or putting on the sanja and going in the southwest region that will make people to vote for you. We want to see what you've done. He confessed that no, actively he was not, he was in the civil society, and we think that maybe his campaign team will tell us what he even did at the level of the civil society. I believe that I've analyzed maybe the integrity and the profile of about 80% of them. No, I already analyzed my chairman. Well, I've never seen my chairman in any case of corruption.
It's okay. Yeah.
He's pew.
It's okay. Yeah. Tu voulais?
Oui.
Allez.
Vous savez, l'intégrité de l'honorable Cabral Libi ne peut pas être mise en exergue, parce que depuis 2004, tout le monde l'a vu. En tant que jeune leader estudiantin, il est entré en politique. Si c'est quelqu'un qui voulait ne pas être intègre, il aurait bénéficié des propositions du gouvernement, peut-être être ministre, ainsi de suite. Quand le représentant du RDPC parle des micro-projets et peut-être l'argent qui est la malversation, ça veut dire qu'il n'est pas allé. Avant de le dire, il faut aller dans la circonscription déjà dans laquelle Cabral Libi a été élu, et au-delà même pour voir ce qu'il a pu rendre disponible en termes d'accompagnement des projets agricoles dans l'Union Ekele, en termes d'accompagnement des populations au-delà même de l'Union Ekele. Vous avez certainement la question de Malombo sur l'Union qui avait nécessité à un moment donné l'achat des pirogues à moteur, parce que les populations qui y traversaient mouraient régulièrement. Il a essayé de défendre cette question même au niveau de l'Assemblée nationale, à ce qu'il y a eu un projet qui a été voté pour mettre fin un pont sur l'Union au niveau de Malombo, dans l'arrondissement de Macaque. C'est pour ça que je dis, celui qui nous écoute au nord-ouest et au sud-ouest ne peut pas comprendre les réalités d'investissement dans lesquels il a tenu, par exemple, dans sa circonscription électorale. Ce n'est pas que je ne peux pas dire ce qu'il a fait. Mais lorsqu'on parle de quelqu'un qui est au niveau de Ngoketunja, qui ne sait pas là où se trouve Malombo et autres, il ne peut pas comprendre, par exemple, les implémentations qui ont été faites là-bas. Mais l'objectif principal d'un député, c'est quoi? Le contrôle de l'action gouvernementale. Et je pense que au départ, lorsqu'il va aux élections en 2020, les gens disaient, oh, qu'est-ce qu'ils vont faire? Le RDPC a la majorité au base. Mais je vous rassure que même les ministres du RDPC, aujourd'hui, peuvent témoigner, d'ailleurs il y a des vidéos, où même le ministre des Finances le témoigne, que le travail abattu par le PCRN, avec ses 5 députés, a été très important dans un certain nombre de révisions, d'un certain nombre de projets au niveau du gouvernement. Donc, je crois que là, il a été meilleur. Il a fait son travail, il a atteint son objectif. C'est aux Camerounais d'en décider le 12 octobre. Donc, je pense qu'en réalité, le type de personne dont on a besoin du 12 octobre, déjà, c'est quelqu'un qui n'appartient pas au régime qui est en place. Il faut déjà le dire. Moi, je le dis. Je l'ai toujours dit. C'est une question de référendum. Maintenant, sur les 11 candidats qui restent, les Camerounais ont le choix. On va nous dire il n'y a pas de coalition et tout et tout. Et nous, c'est un faux débat. C'est un faux débat, c'est un faux discours qui fait à ce que les gens s'éloignent de l'objectif. L'objectif ici, c'est que le 12 octobre, le Cameroun a un nouveau management. Et ça fait donc qu'il y a des profils dans l'opposition. On a essayé de citer là. Il y a des profils. Les Camerounais n'ont qu'à se concentrer et de choisir, d'aller massivement. Parce que 8 200 000 et poussières d'électeurs doivent se mobiliser le 12 octobre pour aller voter. Mais si ça se réalise comme en 2018, où moins de presque environ 3,5 millions sont allés voter, cette abstention-là, on aura toujours un président qui sera élu avec moins de 3 millions de votants. Et en réalité, on n'aura pas la volonté en fait, une certaine représentativité de la volonté de tout le Cameroun. Donc, c'est leur responsabilité. Nous avons un pays à refaire, en fait. Parce que pendant près une soixantaine ou 70 années, le système est resté le même. Les mêmes acteurs, on vous parlait tout à l'heure de Issa Tiroma, mais moi je pense qu'il faut même prendre le ministre Bielo Bouba aussi, qui est ministre depuis les années 60. Donc il faut prendre tout un système, est là, il n'a pas été remplacé. C'est ça qui fait que même l'État en général, les choses n'ont pas avancé. S'il y a un nouveau leadership, il y aura une page à tourner et on pourra commencer à écrire une nouvelle page et des choses, qui que ce soit qui arrive le 12 octobre, les choses vont s'améliorer inéluctablement.
Okay, yeah, you were also itching to add.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add on, like you said, the profile. And I will not cite any person in particular, but I will just put what I think should be the profile for someone that will want to rule us from October 12th. First, we need, the position is civil service. So someone who is humble enough, to be closer to the people, not to feel supreme, not to feel supreme. Someone he has already mentioned the education, right? Because the position of the president is not like a council or a store, right? If you want to hire a store to manage, a store manager to manage your store, is different from hiring somebody to manage a multinational company. So the head of state, the position of the head of state, it has a lot of requirements, and among which education, somebody who is with full integrity, who has a good reputation, whose age also can permit he or she, to act independently based on what he has received. So age is a factor. If we look at our current president from 92, when he was elected, to 2004, as the years going, the popularity is decreasing because people know, okay, yeah, you have given this, now we need, so the profile, we are looking for somebody that has that energy, has that age, has that education, and also have that experience. And somebody like Batonier, who has worked in various settings and has demonstrated humility. In 2018, he was so humble enough to align himself behind another candidate. That's a sign of humility. Despite the fact that he was not part of the government, he still pushes to ensure that Cameroon recover money that Glencore, which is a multinational oil and gas company, has illicitly obtained from Cameroon. How does that work? A company comes in Cameroon with money and then negotiate licenses. But let's say, for example, a license is $1 million francs. Somebody within the government tells you, okay, we can give you the license for 600,000 francs, and then you give us 200,000. You keep 200,000 as profit, right? But he looked at that, he looked deep into it. I'm not sure who paid his flight to London to do all those things. He did it as a Cameroonian, as a citizen. These are the kind of profile we are looking at. This is somebody that has been working with other government, helping them to set up governance system. This is somebody that has been president of Transparency International and well known in international institutions that helps in transparency. We need transparency. By all of us seated here, we want to know where our taxes are going to. So at the end of the year, the government should be able to tell us, okay, this year, this is what happened. So this ministry, there were mismanagement, this is what has been lost. These are the people that were responsible. They are going to jail. That's what we're looking for. So somebody who has a profile like Batonier is what Cameroonians should be looking at. For sure, not everybody within the government is bad. Again, people within the government that have that profile, they can also be behind Batonier, and then we will have the best country ever. We have a lot of talents, whether in the southwest, northwest, in the north, south. We just need a new system in place and a transparency governance.
We need a new, yeah.
I think I would want to a bit disagree with the issue about education, because let us look at the Constitution. Maybe we are missing between literacy and education. Okay. Because when we say education, it's like saying that the person like putting someone who has the knowledge, because there's a difference between having the knowledge and knowing how to read. The Constitution made it clear and gives conditions under which you can become president. It means the Constitution understood general knowledge. And when we say educational, is that we are saying that the man who was struggling, the farmer who was struggling to become president, but because he is not, or
no, I've not heard anybody.
No, I'm just saying. Let me just say the use.
You said you are indexing.
Okay,
people let me not nobody on this platform.
Let me just
put your point.
My point is, when we use the word education being an issue,
who said? You are the one. No. Nobody said that.
He is saying that we can see that with his candidate that is educated at this level.
No.
I'm not saying that.
D'éducation en termes de moralité.
Yes, you.
Je suis pas en train de dire que un militaire ne peut pas être président.
No, because what I heard was, and I will rephrase what you said.
Why?
No, maybe.
Why are you the lone person who misunderstood?
No, the issue is I was following him keenly.
Yeah.
I followed his discourse keenly, and I can paraphrase what he said. And what he said
we are
I think he's mentioning education because when I related to Batonier and looking at his educational background, he thinks.
So we cannot just elect. That was what he said.
No.
But are you saying that we should elect somebody who cannot also speak English and French? Is that what you are saying?
The Constitution made it clear who becomes president of the Cameroon.
That was
in the Constitution.
Should be able to speak
English or French.
Yes.
Now, if the person can be able to meet the criteria, the person becomes president. The president is an institution; it's not an individual.
Yeah.
Because we see that we have had two presidents.
What are you saying? What are you saying? In effect, that we elect somebody who cannot read in English and who cannot read in French? Is that what you are saying?
But the Constitution does not say that you cannot read and write. The Constitution says that if you are 35 years of age, you don't have a criminal record, you belong to a party, your party invests you, you can become president of Cameroon because it is an institution based, and that's why you have advisors.
Yeah, but
now, if we don't want it, we go to the parliament and change it like other nations that has laws that okay, you must have at least.
What are you saying?
Nobody disagreed that.
No, there is something that he said. Maybe after the program you listen to
He is showcasing the intellectual capacity of his
and he associated that education to Bartolomew's profile. I didn't say that a farmer cannot be a president.
No.
I'm talking about the education.
Yeah, but just make your point.
My point is that
somebody who cannot talk English and French, who knows only for full day, can become president. That's why you're saying.
Yes, of course. Okay. The constitution
so just say it.
Yeah, it's enshrined in the constitution. What I want the people to understand is that because most of them will still have this understanding I have now. Anybody can become president of Cameroon.
Sure.
Irrespective of their educational background, because it is an institution. And that is why if we have a stronger institution, the nation can work on autopilot. If we have people who respect institution, the nation can work on autopilot. That's why we have advisors at every level. Because no matter how much technical knowledge you have, you cannot be independent if you don't have advisors, because you still fail. With that, you bring even Barack Obama in this system, which does not function effectively with the separation of power and respect of hierarchy, you will still fail. Because it's not like he does not have the experience, he has. So what I'm saying is that whoever can become president, but we must look for someone that will respect the different devolution of power, and that will make sure that they give each unit the autonomy they have to operate, such that they can be held accountable individually, not with high instructions.
C'est pourquoi la révision constitutionnelle est une priorité, effectivement, pour que, comme vous parlez de pouvoirs séparés, que chaque côté, chaque pouvoir soit effectivement capable de se mouvoir sans être piétiné par l'autre.
Okay, we have come to the end of our tonight's edition of the program. He came later because of traffic. Actually, I was informed that he was held in traffic around Pakuvita.
Yeah.
Yes, he also came a little bit late because of traffic. So, please,
I came earlier.
Yes.
Thanks to the head of state.
Yeah, pool is still going on. Maybe the pool.
Okay. Yes, the prime apples are still on. What we expect from you is just send the name of your preferred candidate, who, according to you, should be the president of the republic after the 12th of October 2025. Keep sending the names of those you think should be president. We are doing a pool to come up with to release them after next week. Thank you for coming, Kedia, for coming early.
No, it's a pleasure to be here when the nation...
When you call, this is home. So I'm always present. And when it also has to do with something that is very sensitive as this topic that it concerns the head of state, is 100% that I'll be here. Special greetings to the people of Ngokutunja. I am telling them that I will be there and part of the campaign. We will shake all the 13 villages from Bamisin, where I come from, to Babisi, going through the Bangoland to Balikumbat. We will be there to ensure that the head of state, of course, anyway, it's not time for campaign. I will disclose that when the time comes.
Thank you very much. And I want to call on those who have actually registered, please do well to go and vote, because this election will be so close that you can imagine. If we look at what Elecam has actually published in terms of database, and we look at the coming of Churuma and Bello Buba, the election will be too close to call. So don't say that a particular party has won. Please go and vote.
Yes. What are some of the findings as presented by Elecam?
Yes, as presented by Elecam, we have the biggest voting bloc for now. It is the Central region. The Central region, as Elecam, has 17.23, followed now by Extreme North. The Extreme North that has 15% per what we have. Then you come now to this Littoral. The Littoral region also comes up after the Littoral. The Littoral has about maybe I should read it.
Yes.
Okay. Just because you have the Littoral. The Littoral has with the total number of the Littoral has 15.31, which is a total of 1,257,986 voters. The Central Region, let me start with Central Region, has 17.77, 1,460,904 voters. That's the first, followed by Extreme North, 1,337,796 voters, 16%. Now the Littoral is the third with 1,257,986, 15.35. The West Region is the fourth with 11.45% with 941,173 votes. Those who have actually registered. The North now has 10%. 10.09% with 839,332 votes. The Northwest follows suit with 8.33, which gives 684,598 votes. Adamawa has 6%. Based on this, it has 6.53, which gives 536,926 votes. The Southwest region has 5.32, which has 437,236 registered voters. The East region is follows suit with 4.84, 398,036 votes. The South region has 4.08, which gives 335,223 voters registered. A total number of 8,219,210 registered voters.
So those are the statistics from LECAM. The region with the highest number of voters is the Central region, followed by the Far North region. And like he said, it is also very important for political parties to be aware of this, so that you know where you invest your energy. Yeah, we are going to we are looking at that tomorrow, especially focusing on the financing of political campaigns. Merci d'être passé par ici.
Merci, c'est le PCN qui vous remercie
de
nous avoir invités.
Okay, that was Hansi Samuel Eve of PCRN. We have Nyong Clement, who is representing the Akere letter movement here. Good evening.
Thank you again. Sorry for coming late, but it has been a pleasure to share what we know about the next president, President Akere Muna, the flag bearer for Univer. And then, like my dear brother here just shared the statistics of the voters. It is important that us as citizens, I'm not a politician, don't look at me as a politician, I'm just a concerned citizen. We collect our voters card, do the voting, vote for our candidate, the person you think have the profile which we just described here. Follow them, listen to them keenly, regardless of whether he's Francophone, Anglophone, or which tribe. There's no tribe, it's just the profile you look at. And then vote on the 12th, wait for the end of the day, see who win in your polling station, and that's it. Because what we do is sometimes people vote, they don't follow up, and then they complain that they have stolen their vote, which is not good. So thank you very much, and then hopefully next time we meet again.
Okay, thank you all for watching, and special thank you to the production team. Stay blessed. Bye bye.